How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs co-beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Thank you guys so much for stopping in today. As it is game day, little later on today, Kansas City Chiefs will host their AFC West divisional rival in the Los Angeles Chargers in a Week 15 matchup where it's win or go home, pretty much. A lot of scenarios would have to go correct for the Kansas City Chiefs if they wanted to make the playoffs, but in their destiny, which they control, they have to start by a win. So in today's episode of the podcast, which we typically do before game day, is that we give a prediction on who's going to win and why. Today, I have multiple reasons why I believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will win. And I know last week, if you were a frequent listener to the podcast, I told you that the Chiefs were going to lose in hopes that the football gods were going to be able to prove me wrong, because a lot of the times this season where I picked Kansas City to win, they have fallen to their one-score losses as they have typically done. However, this game, I feel really confident that it is going to be a Kansas City Chiefs victory, primarily for three reasons. One, you are at home at Arrowhead in front of your home crowd. Though the blemishes have been worse than the victories this season as you enter the game with the 6-7 record, you've only lost twice at home. Chiefs Kingdom is going to be on your side now more than ever. It's going to be loud, most likely going to be cold. It's definitely something that you need to take care of. You need to embrace the atmosphere that is Arrowhead Stadium. And if you're going down to the game today, be loud, be aggressive, have your voices heard. Maybe the offense for the Chargers, a lot of calls go their way, or against them rather, because of the factor of the crowd. I really do think that the Chiefs Kingdom and any fan who shows up should treat this like a playoff game, because it really is. You lose, you go home. Kansas City Chiefs, they are in fear of missing out on the playoffs, and there's still games to be had in the regular season. That being said, it's very important that you get this job done, primarily with the hope, help, passion, love that your fan base has for you. Because at the end of the day, these are hard-earned tickets that people are buying with their hard-earned money. To see a successful franchise who has built themselves into such a juggernaut, who has seen their dynasty collapse this season, they deserve one great win against a AFC West division rival who isn't the Las Vegas Raiders. Number two, history resides on your side. Earlier this season, we typically look at things for the Kansas City Chiefs when it comes to history. Going into this game, the Kansas City Chiefs have won 71 times against the Los Angeles Chargers to 59 losses. They've tied once. This includes all of their matchups, 131 times, one game that was in the postseason. You lost earlier this season to them by the score of 27-21. But before that, from 2021 to 2024, it was a Chiefs dominance as they were winners consecutively, whether it be in overtime, whether it be in regulation. The Kansas City Chiefs always found a way to beat the Los Angeles Chargers, whether it be at home or away. This time, it's different because you are at home, which once again benefits you compared to how it was in week one where you were overseas in Sao Paulo, Brazil. The defense didn't necessarily look the best, but the offense kind of kept you in the game. That was week one. Last week, the defense kept you in the game and the offense was nowhere to be found. So knowing that the Chiefs offense is one of the top performing offenses in terms of statistics, not necessarily by results, they should have a upper hand against the Chargers. However, the Chargers defense is very good. They're marketed as one of the top 5 NFL defenses this season in terms of average total defensive yards or offensive yards allowed from a defensive standpoint. And it's something that they're definitely going to bring their A game for. So if you want to continue your dominance and land win 72 in all-time history against the Chargers, now is the best time to do so. And the third reason why I think that the Kansas City Chiefs will win before I give you my final score prediction is because this is a revenge game. A revenge game that Kansas City needs to win. Earlier in the season, as we touched on before in Sao Paulo, Brazil, it's kind of a game where you need to get your feet wet for what the season is going to turn into. For the Kansas City Chiefs, the offense was slow. The defense wasn't as strong as we've seen it develop into this season. But it is a game that definitely has kept them up at night because maybe they're thinking psychologically, this could have been the loss that really kickstarted our poor season or our inconsistent season. And a way to counteract that for the remainder of the season is to defeat the Chargers in Arrowhead, Week 15. You need to do it. I don't really think there's any more excuses that I can give. I've been very lenient towards them this season, but at the end of the day, if they want to be talked about as one of the best or the faces of the NFL in franchise form, then you've got to deliver. I understand that dynasties come and go, and just because you can still be a dynasty without winning a championship, but if you were going from the scene of a Super Bowl appearance against the Philadelphia Eagles and you drop all the way out to finishing third in the division and not making the playoffs, that's a very big dynasty fall-off. When I think of dynasties and stuff like that, a lot of things come cumulatively. They grow as we've seen. Patrick Mahomes has been a really good example for that. As soon as he come into the franchise, things have kickstarted into success. But when dynasties do climb and fall, they're typically thought of still getting into the playoffs, but maybe the Chiefs would fall shy of the AFC Championship game. And then next season, they still make the playoffs in their hopes that they get to the Super Bowl again, but they get eliminated in the divisional round. See kind of how it's an incline and a decline, kind of like a storybook. That's the stereotypical what people would like to see in dynasties, at least in my opinion. But I do think that it's very alarming that this team has fallen from grace, so to say. But I do think that a revenge game will kickstart them in hopefully defeating a very, very capable and playoff-worthy team in the Chargers. My final prediction to wrap up the podcast, Kansas City is going to score 21 to 24 points, and they're going to hold the Chargers offense to 2 touchdowns, 14 points apiece, potentially to 17. I could see them getting a field goal. Final score, 24-17, Kansas City Chiefs. Be sure you follow me over on X at Dom Minchella. Post and repost every single day. You're not going to want to miss any coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs while we go into the remainder of the season. You can also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI, both on X and Facebook, for your best coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs on SI is the place to get your Kansas City Chiefs news. As always, folks, I'll see you tomorrow for a game recap and all. Be kind to one another.